Okay, Matt, I'm going to, or anyone who's watching this, I'm going to show you how I would draw this part, okay? So first thing is I'm going to go down. I've got my 2D practice parts drawing open. I'm going to get my little plus sign, and I'm going to say Create Part Studio. And I'm going to name this, Part Studio 1. This is the one I want right here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call this Practice Part 2. So this is practice part number 2. Hold on a second. I'm going to pause this. Okay, back to you. Now, here I'm going to start my sketch. I'm going to put it on the front plane, and I'm going to click front. And I'm just going to press the letter P to get rid of these planes. Now, I'm going to come over here to this part, and I'm going to look at this. And the primary shape that I see here, other than it's all cut out, is it's a rectangle. It's a 9-inch long by 6-inch tall rectangle. So I'm going to go up to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to click and put it on the origin, bring this out. The first dimension it's asking is in the x-axis, so that's going to be 9. And then the y-axis, it's going to be 6. And I'll select front over here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting pieces out of this thing. So I'm going to use my rectangle tool again, and I'm going to get this piece cut out of this part over here. Now, the way I do that is I start my rectangle tool, I put it on this line, and click and drag it up and out. And I know by looking, it wants my x-axis dimension. So I know from looking at this that this is 6.5 minus 5 inches, which means that this is going to be 1.5. Okay. The next thing is the height, and that is the y-axis right here. This is going to be 1.5. So I'm going to type in 1.5. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to use the trim tool, and because my screen is compressed, I can't see it. So I'm just going to go to search tools. I'm going to type in trim. You'll see it. It looks like a pair of scissors someplace on your screen if you're looking at it. I'm just going to go down here, and I'm going to click on that twice to get rid of the part. Now, for some reason, my height dimension didn't stay, so I have to redo that. And I'll hit enter. There we go. Now, the other thing that I need to do is I need to dimension from this line to this back here, which is that 5-inch dimension. So I got my dimension tool going. I'm going to click on that line. I'll click on this one. I'm going to put in 5. And you can see that this turned black. So that means it's completely constrained. All right, now up here on the right-hand side of this one, I've got another rectangle. So I'll start my rectangle tool, and I'll just put it someplace near where I think it's supposed to go. And I can take and do a little math here. It's 7 inches minus 6. That means the distance from here to here is 1 inch. So I'll change that. Oh, shucks. Well, I'll have to start my dimension tool. That's not a big deal. Now click down here, and that's going to be 1. And then the distance from the base to here is 4, and the distance from the base to up here is 6. So 6 minus 4 is 2. So I'll click on that, and I'll put it on 2. And then I need to locate this, and from this left-hand edge to this left-hand edge of this slot, it's 6 inches. So I'll click the line there and this line, and I'll make that 6. And now that one's black. Again, I'm going to use my trim tool. I'll have to trim it twice. And we have all these parts black. Okay, let's do this cutout right here. Same principle. I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to just put my cursor on that line, and I'll bring that out. And now it's looking for the X dimension, and the X dimension is right here. It's 2 inches. So I'm going to put in 2, and I'll hit enter. Now it's looking for the Y dimension. You can barely see that on my screen, but it is asking for it. So I'm going to take 2.5 or 3.5, which is the dimension for this line, and 2.5, which is the dimension from that line. I subtract those, and I get 1. Okay, now I'll bring this over. Now I need to trim. I'll trim this time. So remember, I got to trim twice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimension on from this bottom line to here of 2.5 inches. So dimension, I'll go to this bottom line here, and I'll choose this guy, and I'll put in my 2.5 inches. And that got that all set up. For some reason, the 2-inch dimension didn't stay, though. So I got to dimension that again. See how this line is blue? That means it's not fully constrained, and I can click on it and change it if I want to. So I'm just going to dimension this by clicking on it here and here and here. There we go. And 2 inches. And I'll hit enter. And now it's fully constrained. See all these lines, right? These are black. That means that they are fully constrained. And that's what you need to have. All right, now we got to tackle this area up in here. And honestly, the easiest way to do this is a couple things. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to use my line tool, which I don't generally do, but I am in this case. And I'm just going to come someplace on this line. The dimension for a vertical line right here is 3.5 inches. And then it comes over some, and then it goes up. So I'm going to kind of draw this line, and this line right here. So I start the line tool. I'm going to come over. I'm just going to pick. I'm going to come down some number. I don't even know what it is. Uh-oh, I goofed. This is easier to fix right now than it is later. Start my line tool, and I come straight down. Then I'm going over, and then I'm going up to this intersection up here. Now, trim tool, and I'll trim and get rid of that area in there. Now I'm going to start putting some dimensions on. So my first dimension is going to be the distance from this wall here to this joint. Well, actually, no, I better do from this wall here to this straight line over here. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to do the straight line there and the straight line there. And this is 3.5. Uh-oh, I made a goof. It's giving me some kind of a bad error. Let's redo this line thing. Okay. All right, I'll start my line tool. I'm going to go way over here and click and bring this down. I'll come here and go up here. Let's see if this works. Trim. I'll get rid of this one. Now I'll go back to my dimension tool, and I'll get this line, and I'll choose this one, and that is 3.5. Okay. So what happened there? Oh, I see what's going on. Oh, that's interesting. Well, we'll finish this, and I'll show you where I have a dimensioning error here. Not too serious, but whatever. All right, now dimension again. Now I'm going to put my 2-inch dimension on, coming from this wall here to right here. So dimension tool started, pick the line, pick that point, and that is supposed to be 2 inches. Okay. And this angle, because it goes right up to that corner, is that corner there. This corner is right at the same height as this line is, and this line is the same height as this is. So that's in good shape. Now, what I need to do is I need to find, because you can see this is all blue still here. So I want to know the distance from this bottom line, which is right here on the drawing on the right, to the very bottom. So this part is, to that line is 5 inches tall, and the overall height is 6. So I'm going to dimension from here down to here, and I'm going to take 6 and subtract. I don't have to do that because I'm dimensioning like this. I can just use this dimension. I'm so silly. I'm going to hit 5 and hit enter. And now it's all black, right? All right, now I'm missing 2 dimensions. This one for the 6-inch and also the overall length of 9 is missing on my drawing. So I'll have my dimension tool going, and I'm just going to click on this line right here and bring this out and click and hit enter. Oh, nope, it actually was over here, so I don't need it. See how it's gray? That means it's an unneeded dimension, so I'm just going to undo that. Let's see what happens when I do the 9-inch one. All right, dimension tool. From here to here, 9, hit enter, and that one's gray also. So that means that, oh, here's the dimension right in here. So I don't have to have this one either, so I can undo it. Okay, so my part's good now. Now I can green check mark this, and I can hit isometric here. I can get the corner of the cube, or I can get the isometric view right here. Doesn't really matter. And then I can do my extrude, and I can't remember. I think the extrude is 1/2 inch. It might be 1/4 inch, but I'm going to make it 0.5. That can be changed, of course, if we need to, right? Okay, so that's part number 2, drawing that.